Hello, 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 and welcome to my channel, Anne's Aesthetics, where hopefully I can bring you a little bit of peace and happiness and trippiness through painting today. I'm going to start off with taking Admiral Blue, and then I'm going to also do a black color to mix together on this. This is actually a pastry holder that I repurposed as a paint holder so I can mix my paints. And I also repurposed this canvas as well because it was another painting that I never finished. So I just painted a white layer over it and I'm starting from ground zero again. But I'm going to mix those two colors. You can use any blue you want with any black shade, or you could do a dark gray if you wanted. But this is going to be the background of our painting today. The inspiration for today's photo can be found here. If you ever want to find the photo so you can see it better, you can check out my Pinterest in the description box below. Go to my board, Art and Drawings, and you will find this inspiration photo under that board. Now, you don't have to be too perfect with this background because we are going to be doing a lot of different layers with the trees and the ghosties and the pumpkins later. So just try to get a nice, somewhat layered layer. The next section is going to be the road / pathway, and what I did for this is I did combine quite a few different browns. Basically what I had on stock, I took like an orangish brown and I combined it with a little bit of a deeper brown for the base path of the layer, and then I'll end up going over it with just darker shades of brown, lighter shades as well, just to highlight and throw some shadows in there. And I'm also not doing too heavy of a layer, as you can see, because then you can kind of see through it and it makes it look even more like a road. And I am using the same color I did for the pathway for my trees as my base color, and then I will eventually go back over it with some highlighting and darkening colors. Bob Ross would say, draw your happy little trees wherever you'd like. Paint those happy, happy little trees. If I was to do this painting again, I think it'd be really cool to make these into pine trees, super bushy, thick pine trees, so you're like in a thick forest and you don't know what's hiding behind them. That'd be super cool. Just saying, if someone does that, I want to know. I'm taking Arbor Green as the base, and I'm literally just taking a square, flat paintbrush, and I dip that. I kind of like when the paintbrushes are a little more rough on the ends, because then it gives a flared flick effect. So that's what I'm doing. I just dipped it in some of that Arbor Green color, and I'm flicking upwards motion to get a grass-like effect. I'm doing the first layer, and then you will see I do end up going in multiple times with different layers. I'm drawing it at the base of each trunk, around the trunks, to make it look like there's grass behind the trees, in front of them, so it makes the trees look like they're underground. You just gotta make sure you get every corner okay. To highlight some of my trees in the pathway, I'm taking light mocha and a really scratchy brush so that it spreads just naturally. The brush is doing the work for me, and I'm not really putting too much thought into it. I'm honestly just kind of gently, very, very gently sweeping my brush against each trunk to create some stripe look patterns for some bark. I also tried to keep in mind that the ghostie is holding a lantern, so the trees might be more highlighted that are next to the ghostie than the ones that are on the outsides. So I did add more highlights in the middle trunks. Taking the same brush from before that I used for the Arbor Green grass, I'm taking the lime green color, and I think it's literally called lime green. But anyways, taking that and I'm doing the same motions, but this is going to be layer number 2 to create some different depths within our grass. I wanted to make sure that I got really close to the pathway to kind of make the pathway blend in more with the nature surrounding it. It's a little hard to notice, but I did take some more of that Arbor Green color and I'm going back in over top of the lime green to darken up the grass and create more layers and different depths. This is just an extra step. I'm taking a fan brush and I'm swiping in that upward motion to further blend all the colors and different layers together. Pumpkin time! I'm taking jack-o'-lantern, which is perfect because we are painting jack-o'-lanterns here. Well, not really, we're just painting the pumpkins, but still, jack-o'-lanterns are technically pumpkins. I'm doing all different kinds of shapes for the pumpkins. Some of them are more circular, some of them are super curvy, and they have different rounded tops and bottoms. Some are tall, some are short. It's all up to whatever you're feeling and vibing with for the pumpkins, I guess. This would be super cute with gourds as well, just saying. I am taking a very light brown. I think this was light mocha mixed with a little bit of a darker brown. And I'm taking the smallest paintbrush that I can find. And I'm slightly outlining and doing the lines on the pumpkins to give them some definition. And I am using this color for the stems as well. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the placement of the pumpkins matter. This pumpkin is in the background behind the lantern, so it was the darkest, therefore I used black as the outline for just that single pumpkin. But then these ones are super bright because they're closest to the lantern, so I used the brightest brown I had, which was light mocha. And then I'm taking a small paintbrush that I can easily define with, and I'm drawing kind of a very curvy upside down U with round, like, topped off bottoms. And then I'm drawing a very squiggly bottom because it's a ghost, so it's basically crawling and floating on the path, so you don't have to be perfect with it. Just fill in the rest of this ghosty with the white. In a very small paintbrush and a black shade, I traced the ghost with some lines following the reference photo, and I also used it for the eyes. And here I'm just roughly sketching the lantern, so I drew the part where the ghost can hang on to it. I drew the outline of where the lantern actually holds the inside, and then this is the bottom that I'm working on currently. Apricot was used for the inside of the lantern, and then I did go over top of it with a yellow shade, and I'm just using a white acrylic marker to draw some faint stars or sparkles or little lightning bugs, whatever you want to think of them as. I thought of them as little twinkle stars on a scary, spooky night. Decided to keep these all in the upper half of the pathway. In a yellow acrylic marker, I am drawing some actual little diamond stars, is what I call them. These are the ones that have, basically, it's like you put two triangles together and turn it sideways, so it's like an actual diamond, but you curve the edges to give it some star flare. And I'm just drawing these all around to make it a little pop of color, bring in the fall, tie in the little sparkle stars. As I always say, don't forget to sign your signature. Halloween is one of my favorite seasons of the year, and I am going to go all out for the tutorials for this season, so you'll have to stay tuned if that's something you're into. If not, that's okay too, but I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. You'll consider subscribing, sticking around, sharing with a friend, and I hope you have a wonderful, happy day. Bye-bye.